What up, guys? It is Sunday, September 29th, 5:32 a.m. Today we are taking the Alphaflys out for one more workout. Last workout in the Alphaflys at the block. This shoe has been my go-to weapon for any day when I want to feel fast during Chicago Marathon training, any day where I really want to push it. The Alphafly has been a great training partner for me. So this is a shoe that came into the rotation January earlier this year. I didn't love it, but I'm up near 100 miles right now, and I've just started to like it more and more as I've put more miles on it. So this morning we have a nice threshold session, and I think I'm going to end with some marathon pace as well. One of my last long runs here. I'm actually not sure how long I'm going to go this morning. Last week I said it was my last 20-mile long run, but we'll see how I feel. So nice little test in the Alphafly this morning. One of the best fast shoes on the market right now, and the comfort of it has grown on me. I initially wasn't loving the feel of it, especially for a longer time on feet, but as I've gotten more miles on it, I haven't just gravitated towards the speed capability. It started to feel more comfortable too. So the beauty of this shoe is that you get the ZoomX with the air unit and the carbon fiber plate. It's a deadly combination. So I'm excited to take it out. We got to get some breakfast, some coffee, and then we can hit the road. This is the coffee this morning. We're going with a classic Ethiopian natural process. This is my first love when it comes to specialty coffee. I absolutely love the fruity, berry, bright, rounded, sweet taste of these things. So this is from our friends at Black and White, the Raro Boda from Guji. The Guji region is a stalwart of Ethiopia. It's like the E10 Kenya of running. Take a look at the funk meter. This is up at 50 to 60% on the funk meter today, but Charlie likes the Ethiopian natural too. So this is a crowd pleaser type of coffee. Tastes like blueberry pancakes with some strawberry jam. Absolute banger. Breakfast today, pulling up with the Cheerios like a disrespectful little boy. Cheerios. Are you serious? Are you seriously eating Cheerios? Yes, I am seriously eating Cheerios before demon time. Yeah, Cheerios, because you know why I'm eating Cheerios? You know why I'm eating Cheerios? Because we don't have any bread. We don't have any bagels. We don't have any other carb source that you could put in the toaster. No toaster waffles. We don't have a gosh dang gluten-free roll. All we have is Cheerios. The other thing that we have is tortillas. And that was what I was thinking last night. I'm going to do a tortilla with peanut butter and jelly. But then I said, am I really going to do a tortilla with peanut butter and jelly? Nah. Cheerios. I usually say no apps, no social media. But I remember I need to check my fantasy lineup. Last week in one of my leagues, I didn't even set my lineup, and I still won. That's disrespectful. Yeah, I think I had Joe Mixon out last week. And I still beat down Teddy. Shout out to Teddy putting in work. He's about to get married. Oh, Devontae Adams is injured? Gosh dang. This is the thing though. I'm in an 8-person league right here. So this team is just stacked. Joe Burrow, Saquon, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, Chris Godwin, Mark Andrews. Ayuk is in my flex. Nico Collins is in my double flex. Tyler Bass and 49ers D. That's a team right there. I think we might have to pull Joe Mixon out just in case I forget. Put in Najee Harris. I think he had a good week last week. Euros are real triggered right now. Some dude from South Africa commented on this video I did a long time ago where I was talking about the World Series and says, if it's the World Series, does the whole world get to participate? I said, bro, I'm sorry you live in a tier B country. Chill out, all right? Just kidding. Shout out to everyone out there who does not live in America putting in work. Go watch some cricket. Shout out to cricket and badminton. What's your national sport? What's the national sport of South Africa? I was going to make a bad joke. Finished my breakfast. Well, almost. Still a few Cheerios left. But I'm going to mix up this Maurten here. So we got to have a conversation about the Maurten. Because last week, there was a grown man who was triggered by my Maurten consumption. And I've talked about this before, but I'm going to say it again. I think it's worth saying it again. There was someone who commented on the video about all the different race shoes that I was choosing between for the Chicago Marathon, that I only picked expensive shoes and I should have picked an option that was cheaper to be more accessible. Let me tell you this, all right? My take is that we should all do what we can to maximize our performance and enjoyment based on the resources and constraints that we have. Said in another way, if we have the money to buy Maurten, if we have the time to train at 150 miles per week, and that's what we want to do, we should do that. Now, do I think we need to run 100 miles a week like I do to be a hobby jogger? No, absolutely not. Do you need to fuel with a Maurten to have a successful long run? Absolutely not. You do not need to. But if I want to buy some Maurten and use it for my long runs, you better gosh dang believe I'm going to do that. And I'm not saying you need to use this. And the reason why I am using this is because this is what I'm going to fuel with on race day. And being prepared, having the body used to what we're going to do on race day is important. But look, man, I want to make things as accessible and fun for everyone as possible. But that doesn't mean I'm going to start running in $80 shoes and fueling my long runs with orange juice to make a statement. I ran a gosh dang marathon in the Nike Epic React to make a statement. Where were the grown men then? Well, if you're triggered about my Maurten consumption, get up off the couch and go run up a bag. All right? Let me motivate you. Motivate you to go get some Maurten yourself. This ain't Soviet Russia, bro. Everyone should do what they want. Go watch some cricket. Alright, workout for today. Man, should I start running my threshold miles at 11 minutes per mile to be more accessible? Get out of here with that nonsense. That's the type of thinking that just drives me insane. Critical thinking, man. Think before you type. Alright, this is the workout. 2 relaxed miles into 3 by 2 threshold miles. We're going to take these at about 5:40 and then some relaxed miles into a finish at marathon pace. That's my little spin right there. So this Daniel's plan, it has us cutting pretty good. It has us cutting pretty good down to 16 here. I'm probably going to push that to 18 or 20 based on how I'm feeling. And I cut the mileage way too low at the beginning of this week, and I was feeling pretty flat, and that's a mistake I do not want to make again like I made last time. So we're going to start easing the intensity and distance down a little bit, but keeping the frequency up. So that's the plan, man. Look at that. 2 weeks left. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. One more thing about this, man. It's really not about the gear and the expensive stuff. I ran a sub 3 marathon in streak flies. My camera that I'm using right now is a $300 camera from 2018. We don't need this expensive stuff to boss up. But this is the best of the best. And I'm going to fuel with the best of the best because I'm going for my best. Capiche? Hey. Little swag for this morning. Look at that. Bang. Jonji bright pink 5-inchers. Whenever these come out, you know that we mean business. Look at that. Of course, we're going to pair it with the hobby jogger hat. Don't try to tell me what the hobby jogger lifestyle is about. But this is the thing. I'm not a role model. Because if these other boys tried to do what I do, they'd be divorced, fired, and injured. Put some respect on the grind. Little boy's getting disrespectful, triggered over some Maurtens. Who you mad at, me or yourself? Sometimes you just need to remember who you are. That's the problem. A lot of people are walking around with no idea who they are. Trying to be somebody else or trying to be somebody they're not. Just lock in, figure out who you are. Never forget it. Put in the work, let them know. That's what it's about. Getting better every day. Let's do this thing. Woohoo! Feeling fast today, boy. Let's go. All right, good warm up here, smooth and controlled, almost at mile 2 to start the threshold. I've been waiting 3 days for this one. I'm hungry. Give me that beep. Give me that beep. All right, let's go. See you on the other side.
mile 1 threshold uphill, 5:38. Woo! Out here like Nate Silver. Let's go. You boys want to talk numbers? Let's really talk numbers. Alright, that was 5:38, 5:37. That was good. That was solid. That was an honest effort. These Alphafly are singing. So these are actually supposed to be complete rests today. I'm just gonna go nice relaxed jog. 2 minutes. And then we can bang the next one. Short and sweet. Also, trigger warning, please avert your eyes. This content may not be suitable for all viewers, but we are gonna do another Maurten. Bang! That was barely enough time to eat a Maurten, but it's time to go again. In the words of 4-2 Doug, let's do it. Threshold! It's another 5:38. That's a 5:35. Another recovery jog. Now we can close out the threshold portion of today's episode. Little boy's putting up shoe reviews. We're filming episodes. This is not a review. This is life instructions. Get out of bed and go put in the work. It's a 2-step process. Repeat daily. Little boys can never understand. People think I'm joking. Nothing funny about the grind. Still in grind mode. They're down bad buying the girls rhinestones. Put the credit card down, lace up a pair of running shoes, and hit the tarmac. Bang! Last one here. Keep the mustard on the dog. 5:30s, 5:40. One more time. Let's do it. 5:35, 5:29, and I'm still breathing easy. And that last one was uphill. Don't be mad at me because you lost visitation rights to your grandkids. Sit down. Matter of fact, stand up. Stand up, put on your shoes, get some miles in. I'm not a role model. Don't try this at home. In the words of Abel Tesfaye, every time they start to forget who I am, I'll be right back to remind them again. Sometimes we just have to give it a little extra gas. We were moving, so we averaged probably 5:36 across those 6 miles. Felt pretty smooth. And I didn't feel like I was pressing too hard. And that's how I knew last week I was in a tough spot physically, because it just felt way harder than it should. This is how this type of a workout is supposed to feel for me. And that's why I generally like to keep my mileage pretty steady, because I can always steadily execute on workouts without having to go too deep in the tank. If I'm going deep in the tank, that means the mileage is too high or the intensity is too high. But that was pretty much perfect. We're only at mile 8.8. So we have a whiles to go here, but I'm gonna relax cruise for 5 or so miles and then hit a little bit of marathon pace. See you on the other side. I told you, man, when the magenta shorts come out, we're balling on them like Killa Kam. These boys eating Chips Ahoy in their mom's basement don't even know who Killa Kam is. It's disrespectful. Mile 12. Yo, they're legit playing cricket right now. We might have to stop. Holy cow. Bro, you guys playing cricket? Yeah. That's fire. Boom. Bro, he absolutely smoked that thing to right field. Look at that. Man's in the gray Oakley shirt and the Reebok. Bang. All right, down the first baseline. I think is that a foul ball? All right, he winds up right down the center of the plate. Bang. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Shortstop couldn't make the play on that one. These guys are out here putting in the work. Hobby cricketers. Oh crap. And we also got a new Land Cruiser. Look at that. Dude, these things are so nice. Dude, I could not afford that, but it's so sick. Look at that thing. Look at that blue. Look at that blue. Am I mad that somebody else has a Land Cruiser? No, because they worked for it. Little boys out here mad about what other people have. Look at that thing. That thing is sick. Oh, there's also a Rivian. That's sick. I should tell that guy it's not fair to drive a Rivian because I can only afford a Jeep. Alright. Alright, almost at mile 14 here. I'm gonna cruise down to marathon pace. Probably cap at 20, so depending on how I feel. Either get 4 to go to 18 or 6 to get 20. All right, it's time. Cruising. Cruising. Every time you forget who I am, I'll be right back to remind you again. You know, man. You know, man. That's big dog status right there. I have not been able to get a sub 6 mile on that last hill this whole training block. And we just went 5:56. That's how I know I'm ready. You got to remember who you are. If they forget, remind them. All right, here we go, man. Let's see. That was a good one. 20 miles, 6:20 pace, 2 hours, 6 minutes, 43 seconds. Here's the thing. Last week was supposed to be the last 20, according to the Daniels plan. And I even wrote on the title of last week's video, the last 20-mile long run. However, it wasn't sitting right with me. I felt like I needed one more. That was not a good run last week, and I did not want to end the block with that disgusting taste of mediocrity in my mouth. So we came back out here today and did another 20 off script. And that's what it means to train by feel, to train by vibes. I've said this so many times. It's not just waking up, checking my horoscope and saying it's a moon Saturn 78, so I'm going to run 8 miles relaxed. No. It's taking into account psychological, mental, physical, emotional, financial constraints. How are we feeling? What are our stress levels? How does the body feel? What can we do today? What is our time? And figuring out how to train based on that. And I took Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday really relaxed to recover because I could feel that my body was just smashed after that long run last week and after the 130-mile week, which was ill-advised. I should not have done that. But that was 5 weeks out from the marathon. I recover very quickly, and so it took me a week to get that bad taste out of my mouth. I had a great workout on Thursday, and now we could come out here again and give it a little bit more gas. The other thing is that took only 2 hours and 6 minutes. And in my base building period, I regularly go over 3 hours. So doing a 2-hour effort with some pace, 2 hours from the race, for me, that's not a big effort. That's not a massive effort. I'm used to this. I run 2 hours basically every day. So we all have different resources and constraints, and I'm joking a lot about the Maurten and the Rivian and the Land Cruiser, but it's the same thing with the mileage. We aren't all built the same. We don't all have the same capabilities, strengths, and capacity. If your body can tolerate 40 miles a week, then optimize for that. Get the biggest benefit out of that 40. If you can tolerate 140 miles a week and you have the time to do it and you want to improve and up your best, you gosh dang better be running 140 miles a week to get the most out of your running. And that's the beautiful thing about this sport. It's an individual pursuit, and we all have different abilities. I've talked about this in my most viewed video of all time. I was holding this shoe up, and we were talking about equality versus equity. Equality is making things equal for everyone. That's saying, well, not everyone can afford the Alphafly, so I'm going to run my marathon in what everybody can afford. That's not my message. That is not my message. My message is not that we should do everything equal. That's not my message. My message is that we should all strive to up our best. That's why I say up your best. That's why I'm out here. I was out here a few months ago in that video about you don't need new shoes to run a marathon, railing against the whole concept of the Boston Marathon. Now, I understand why they have cutoff times. You can't have 75,000 people running. But this whole idea that somebody else is assigning a goal. Now, you don't have to make the BQ time your goal. For me, running a BQ is way too easy at this stage of my fitness, so that's not my goal. For somebody else, it might be a lifetime achievement, or they might never be able to get that goal. But that doesn't mean that we're on different levels in terms of pursuing our goals. All goals are valid. In the Boston Marathon, with these arbitrary cutoffs, it's almost like you have to run X time to join this club. I hate that. I hate that. That is not what I stand for. I stand for everybody putting in the work to improve themselves based on their individual capacity, man. I know we have a lot of night nurses who watch the channel and who are part of the Supwell app. Some of our friends can only run 30, 35 miles a week because they're putting in the work to provide for their family. And I respect that. And that's so cool to me that they still make time for those 30, 35, 40 hours a week with the shifts, with the sleep deprivation. Same thing for my dudes out there in the Navy, putting in the work. We all have different constraints. I work from home. I have a 9-to-5 job. I don't have to have a commute. So I'm able to run 100, 110, 130 miles per week. I've put in the work and I reviewed a lot of shoes. So I have a lot of shoes because the brands have sent them to me and because I've bought them with the money that I made from the channel. That's the thing, man. We put in the work. And we got to up our best based on our own resources and constraints. So that's my message for today. I don't even know if I have much more to say, but we can take it down to the street, do a little quick breakdown. Here's my message today. You gotta know your own body. You gotta know your own capabilities. Now, I am not a guru. I am not an expert. I am not an elite. Look at the hat. I am a proud hobby jogger. What that means is I don't get paid by anybody else to run. I do this for the love of the game, and most importantly, because it makes me feel fulfilled to hit different goals and to see the progression. And one of the biggest breakthroughs that I've been able to make personally in my running is learning what works for me using these books and systems like Daniel's and everything else I'm reading, but going off script like we did today when I know that I have a little bit more or a little bit less. So we got a great 20-mile long run in this morning. Let's throw it up here. As I said up there, man, I could not go out of this block with just such a struggle fest of a long run like we had last week. And the benefit of having a higher base built up. So because I run 100 miles a week, pretty much every week, I'm averaging 100 for this year per week. I can run a 20-mile long run and recover very quickly. I ran a 27-mile long run in 3 hours. So that was a 2:53 or 2:52 marathon within that run. And then I ran an 18-mile double day and just straight trained through that. I ran a 24-mile long run at the beginning of this block to kick things off. So because my aerobic base is built up, and again, I'm not saying this to flex. This is just the facts of this situation, and I've worked to be able to do this. But because I have this base built up, I can go 2 hours and recover, and that's also the benefit of the double days. So this is the second thing I will say. There are huge benefits to doing these double days, and one of the things that I learned this week from a book that was actually highly recommended by some of you guys, and I have a lot of thoughts on this book. I'm not going to disclose it yet, but I read that doing double days or increasing the frequency of your runs helps speed up recovery, which I've said I think is true anecdotally, and then I read that there's research to back this up, because every time we do a work bout or exercise of at least 30, I don't know why I did that, 30 minutes, we get a boost of HGH, human growth hormone. I read it in this book. You could look it up. It sounds legit. Pretty sure it's legit. It's in a book. Is everything in a book legit? That was the thing about this book, actually. There's a lot of stuff in there that it was questionable. But because I do the double days, it helps me recover quicker. And one of the things that I added in this week actually was doubles with family runs. So I've been doing this 4-mile run with the whole squad. I have the double stroller. It takes about 40 minutes because we're doing 10-minute miles. And the stress on my body is so low, but it gets the heart rate up a little bit. It gets us out in the beautiful neighborhood. it gets the blood flowing, it gets that HGH pumping, and it helps recovery. So because of the mileage, I can come back and do a 20 like this and recover. Now, am I going to do another 20 next week? No, absolutely not. I'm not going to do another 20. We've got 2 weeks left, but I'm a little bit happier today with just how that felt in the fitness than I was last week. I really did not want to go out on such a bad note like that, and that's the benefit, third and final thing here I'll say, of training by feel. We can add in these tougher days when we want them. We can take them down when we don't. And that's also the benefit of using these race day shoes. They make it a little bit easier to hit these paces, and that's why I've been loving these Carbon County shoes for my race pace workouts. They just make it so much more fun, and this is a really fun shoe. So we're at about, let's see, I think this is 130 miles here, and it's honestly not too bad. You can see up at the forefoot here, we got some of the foam rubbing off, but the rubber coverage is good. Let's see, yeah, a little bit flat in the forefoot here, and just a little bit of the exposed foam rubbing in the back. But I mean, this is honestly not too bad. I've seen training shoes, so I believe this is 120 or 130 miles now. I've seen training shoes with worse wear than this. The one thing is the ZoomX foam has compressed a decent amount. You can see back here. Look at that, all the ZoomX foam is compressed, but that's what the ZoomX foam generally does, but it still feels lively, it still feels bouncy at 120 miles, and that's the thing. I have all these shoes, but I actually use them. I actually put in miles in the shoes. At 130 miles, this is still a great shoe, and each time I wear it, it gets a little bit more comfortable. And I don't know if it necessarily needs break-in, but it does not feel as aggressive now as it did out of the box. I do have to say though, there were some times out there during that run where I don't know if it was my hips or my glutes just got a little bit worked from this shoe. And I remember the first run I did out of the box in this shoe was a 12 miler at about a 6:20 pace, which right now that would be equivalent to probably a 12 miler at a 5:50 something pace, given the effort and where my fitness is now. I actually got the shoe in January, so we've had it for quite some time now. But on that first run, I just felt my hips, my glutes burning, similar sensation as the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro 2. So some of these shoes that really put me up on my toes can do that. But I don't know, throughout the run, it went away. It was more so on those threshold miles. And at the end, I felt that the effort in terms of the physical effort on my legs, running marathon pace in the shoe, was not that high. And I feel very efficient in this, similar to the Endorphin Elite, similar to the Asics Metaspeed Edge Paris. It just works, but it's more fun than both of those shoes. The Endorphin Elite is not as comfortable than this. It's way harsher than this. It might be even a little bit faster though for some paces. And the Edge Paris is just so narrow. So this, every time I use this shoe, it climbs the ladder of just general enjoyment. Yes, it's $275 or $285, but this is what I've been saying. These shoes that are priced higher typically have more tech and provide a more fun or more comfortable or more something ride experience. The more you're getting out of this is that speed assistance, the fun, the bounce, and that inspiration to go out there and get it. Lacing this thing up, it just looks fast. I also love the colorway. This Proto colorway is definitely my favorite Alphafly 3 colorway. It just looks so good. It pops on camera, it pops in person. You have the orange inside, the orange on the bottom, the orange on the AirPods. It's fire. I do not like the Volt. The Volt in this is horrible. I think the pink colorway that they put out was okay, but this one is just unmatched with the big black swoosh coming down. It's sick. If Michael Jordan were to run a marathon, this is what he would run it in. So another great workout in the Alphafly 3. This shoe cannot miss for me right now. This in the On Cloud Boom just rolling and ripping, and the Endorphin Elite, rolling and ripping. Those are definitely the top 3. I wish I got more miles in the Rocket X2 this block. I might have to pick up a new pair because I sent the old pair back. But that's all I have for you guys today, man. To all my hobby joggers out there, put in the work. You got 2 options, right? You can get mad or you can get motivated. You could quit or you could keep going. You could be a moth or you can be a slug. So when I'm out here popping off my mouth, being a silly goose, getting up to shenanigans, I hope it makes somebody out there laugh, and I hope it makes somebody out there get up off their behind and get some miles in, because that's what this channel is about. I've said this before, it's not about the dang gear. I feel like I have to remind some people sometimes who don't know who the heck I am. I'm the same one who put in 700 miles on my first pair of shoes. I'm the same one who does 100-mile weeks. And you know why I have all these expensive shoes? Because I dang worked for it. So don't get mad, get motivated. And if not, move to Russia. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. One more thing. Pumpkin waffle. You cannot find that in Stalingrad. Some Mint Hill special. Look at that fluffy capitalism right there.
Steaming if it's not hot.
Thanks. I just thought it made some green.
It's all there. Soy on soybeans.
Alright, this is the lunch here. Quinoa with some edamame. I don't even really like these, but some green and extra protein. And then teriyaki tofu. I mean, this looks so good. I did not make this teriyaki sauce myself, but alright, one bite. Everybody knows the rules. Is it bang worthy? Alright, cheers.
I'm in.
Oh, that's so good. Bang.